All right, the bye week is over. We're back here on West 56th Street ahead of the Colts matchup this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs, the 5-5 on the outside looking in of the AFC playoff picture, Kansas City Chiefs. So we're not sure what's going on over there, but not really our concern. The Colts are 8-2, fresh off a bye week and a win in Germany over the Atlanta Falcons. A very entertaining game sees the Colts go 8-2 through their first 10 games of the season, a much-needed bye week. And now the big story coming out of Wednesday here at the Colts complex, Charvarius Ward, practice window opened up. Not sure yet if he's definitely going to play here on Sunday, but positive sign as he was on IR with that concussion in the last few weeks, and it would be a huge boost to this secondary, who already is pretty pumped up about having Sauce Gardner in the fold. Because if there's a healthy Charvarius Ward there, you got Mooney Ward, Sauce Gardner, Cam Bynum, Nick Cross, Kenny Moore. That's a pretty good-looking secondary right there, especially in a game against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs offense that's been pretty lethal the past few years, past 6 years to be exact, kind of the cream of the crop of the AFC and the NFL at large. So any way you slice it, no matter what record the Kansas City Chiefs have, they always are going to command the respect of a team that you have to be up for, you have to play up for. They just lost to the Denver Broncos, who somehow are 9-2, but the Colts, remember, have that tie-breaking win over the Denver Broncos with that win back in Week 2, game-winning field goal there by Spencer Schrader. So, but in this matchup, offensively, it's about a Colts offense who's been really good this season, really efficient. But the offensive line certainly struggled the 2 weeks before the bye. So we'll see if that gets cleaned up a little bit. But Jonathan Taylor playing at an MVP level, Alec Pierce having the best year of his career, Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Tyler Warren, all heavily involved, and Daniel Jones playing some really good football. Turnover's been a bit of a concern those 2 weeks before the bye as well. But everything in front of this Colts team, and obviously far exceeding expectations at 8-2. Heard from Shane Steichen, Daniel Jones, Alec Pierce, all ahead of this big-time matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs here coming up on Sunday.
I think he's got an incredible feel for the game, incredible feel. I think his instincts are some things that you probably can't coach when you watch him on tape, the plays he makes outside of the pocket, stepping up in the pocket, getting out of the pocket, the throws, the cross-body throws, the down-the-field throws, the intermediate throws. I think he's got a great feel for space. And I think their receivers as a whole with Kelsey and Worthy and Rice and Brown, I think they do a good job of finding those dead spots for him as well. And I'm sure they practice it like crazy. And he's special when it comes to that, getting out of the pocket. I think in this business there are highs and lows, but I think the biggest thing is being just emotional stable and being steady through the whole thing, because you're going to go through your lows, you're going to go through your highs, and it's how you respond to the lows. It's easy to respond to the highs when everything's going good, but when you have lows, I think that's when your character comes out, the person you are, who you are, and I think that's, like I've always said this, that's how you grow, as an individual, not as just a player and a coach, but as a human being. You're going to go through hard times, and you got to battle through those things emotionally, and you got to have great support around you to get through those times too.
Daniel, Shane talked about not chasing a finish line, but chasing progress. Coming off of the bye and the 2 games prior to the bye, what's the progress that you guys need to see as an offense this week, knowing how this Kansas City defense, the aggressiveness that they like to play with?
Yeah, I think every week is different. It's a different challenge, and I think we've done a good job throughout the year of growing and improving week to week. I think you said it. I think this defense poses a lot of challenges from a pressure standpoint, and it's an aggressive group and doing a lot of different things. So we have important few days here to prepare for that and make sure we're ready to go.
Going into a hostile environment, we know how Arrowhead can be. As an offensive leader here, how critical is it for you guys to eliminate those mistakes and communicate really well?
Yeah, I think communication's key anytime you go into a away stadium, especially one like this. I think I thought we did a good job from a communication standpoint in Pittsburgh, and this will be similar to that. So it'll be loud, and we'll have to communicate. I think that stuff we'll practice throughout this week and make sure we're all squared away on.
Throughout the bye, what things stood out to you about the protection and some of the turnover issues that you all have had? A lot of great success this season offensively, but those two things in particular?
I think it's everything working together with that stuff, and obviously a lot on me, and I've got to do a good job protecting the ball, in those situations in the pocket and wherever on the field. I got to protect the ball and make sure, that's always paramount. So, I think, we all work to help each other. I got to get the ball out on time and get the ball to the open guy. But we're confident we've done a really good job with that all season, so we'll continue to do that.
What do you think makes Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs team so good, the cream of the crop, past handful of years?
Yeah, I mean, certainly he's a big part of it. He incredible player, fun to watch, and week in and week out makes play after play, and especially in critical moments in the game. So I have a ton of respect for him, what he's accomplished. And I think the whole group, you can tell they're well coached, they're well prepared. They got playmakers all over the field, offensively and defensively. A lot of respect for their defense and what they do on defense.
Fernando Mendoza mentioned that you guys chatted, I think last week or earlier. Have you watched IU this year, and I guess how did that conversation come about?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I saw him actually when we were in Germany play. They were playing Penn State. Tyler was struggling there at the end. But it's fun to watch. I mean, he's a really good player, a good passer. You can tell he's smart and knows where the ball is supposed to go. So it's been fun to watch him, and it was good to talk to him and catch up and hear about how things are going at Indiana and kind of how he's been processing this season. And any kind of help I can give or support, I'm certainly willing and happy to.
As a competitor, you just had some high praise there for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, what they've been able to do over the years. How much do you kind of get excited for the opportunity to go up against a team that's had so much success over the years?
Yeah, I think that it's a lot of fun. You want to play in these games and these big games, and they're all it's the NFL. They're all big games, but this is an opponent we respect a lot and a team that's had a lot of success. So I'm excited and it's we got to play well on our side of the ball, and we have a lot of respect for their defense and what they do defensively.
I know Shane's really big on kind of trying to stay even keel and not get too high or too low. How do you and this team, this offense, balance trying to stay pretty level while also recognizing that this is a big game against a team that's won a couple of Super Bowls in the last couple of years and where you guys have a big moment this weekend?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we certainly have a lot of respect for their team, and they've had a ton of success the past, 5 or 6 years in the NFL, and we certainly have a lot of respect for that. But we've got to play our game on Sunday, and that's what's important is preparing for this week, the challenges that we see, with this team, and preparing for that, and kind of not making it into a bigger. Anything bigger than that.
Daniel, what is it about Shane's coaching approach with you that's maybe not only allowed you to gain so much trust with him so quickly, but allowed you to kind of play with a supreme confidence when you're out there?
I think just the level and the detail that he prepares with, the level he prepares all of us with. I've talked about how much time we spend watching film and talking about certain plays we have in the game plan and what he expects. What he wants me to do in certain situations, and I think when you have a good understanding of that and that's been communicated well, it allows you to play fast and play with confidence.
Massive opportunity for you guys coming up on Sunday against one of the best to ever do it, and Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. As a competitor, give me your thoughts on just going up against a team that's so talented, has had success for so many years.
Yeah, they're obviously, like you said, a really, really good team. Been doing it for a while, so I think we know that kind of as a team, but also doing our jobs and making sure we're focusing on getting better each day and every practice. So when we get there, it's playing football still at the end of the day. But yeah, we got a lot of respect for them. They're a great team, so it'll be a big challenge.
To go against a guy like Travis Kelce, is that a guy you've tried to model your game after? I mean, he's one of the best tight ends to ever do it. I imagine some of it, at least, has rubbed off on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot you can learn from watching him and just kind of, I feel like he's a very unique player, right? He's done stuff that not a lot of tight ends have really ever done. So watching him is awesome. And he's a great player, so it'd be cool to be out there and compete against him.
Yeah.
What about his feel for the game, just the way he operates in space? What do you what have you learned, I guess, from watching that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can watch and learn stuff, but I think he does stuff that probably he might be the only guy that'll do some of the stuff he's done. But yeah, I think kind of just seeing him trusting himself, doing stuff, making plays, and he's been doing it for a long time. So he's got a lot of experience, but he's a fun player to watch.
As you personally, as a rookie now, and you've gone through 10 games, how are you doing personally, your body and just the whole feel of being in that part of the NFL now, going through these 10 games right now?
I think I've been good. As good as you can be. There's learning curves and bumps and bruises, but I think it's been good, and I've had a good group of guys around me to kind of help guide me through this first year.
Yeah, and it's offensively, you guys have put on a lot of points, leading the NFL when it comes to scoring. How critical will the communication be and just avoiding those turnovers in a hostile environment like Arrowhead?
Yeah, we know it's a really good environment, and they got great fans, so it'll be a challenge. I think being intentional at practice this week and making sure we prepare ourselves as best we can for when we're in the actual game.
To go against a team like that, that's been kind of the cream of the crop. Like, does that challenge excite you to kind of see where this team is as far as that measuring stick goes?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of every week, right? You're playing an NFL team that has a bunch of really good players and vets that you kind of grew up watching. So I think that comes with it every week. But yeah, I mean, they're a really good organization, doing it for a long time, so it'll be a good challenge.
You were talking about the blocking earlier. Does that get hyped up in the media in the meeting room when you guys are down the field taking those blocks? I assume.
Yeah. Especially I mean, Reggie kind of he knows what it is. Like, he's like, do your job, But they give us a lot of love, especially the O-line coach, stuff like that. So in the running backs coach, pretty much all the guys who are really in that run game, they give us a lot of love.
Alec, as a competitor, you're going up against a team that's had so much success. It feels like over the decade. How excited are you about this opportunity to go up against a team like the Chiefs, knowing what's on the line for them, trying to keep their season alive and try to get to the postseason? Give me your thoughts on that, just this opportunity ahead for you guys.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity. It's been the best franchise all my years in the NFL, so it's just a great opportunity for us to go out there. I've heard it's a great stadium playing, great atmosphere, so it'll be a cool experience. And we understand the challenge we have here. They're a team. They definitely need a win. I think there's definitely going to be some urgency in that building there. So I'm sure they'll be treating it like a playoff game, and we got to do the same.
Yeah, and how important would be communication? Knowing Arrowhead Stadium, one of the toughest to play in the NFL, how huge would that be from you guys offensively?
Yeah, it'll be big. We'll be working on that this week in practice. I'm sure they'll have the noise cranked up and get us ready for that.
Joe was talking earlier this week about he feels like you deserve quite the payday upcoming. Is that something on your mind at all as you play out this second half of the season?
No. All that's on my mind is just winning games, winning the division, get the playoffs, and make it Super Bowl.
So obviously, the Colts offense gearing up for a tough matchup against this Chiefs defense, who Steve Spagnuolo's had humming, since 2019. So that guy knows what he's doing. This Chiefs defense has been solid for a long time and still is, and that's going to be a really difficult environment to play. You heard communication come up a lot for this Colts team, and this Colts offense will be a key coming up here on Sunday. As far as defense, this defense has steadily been playing a lot better throughout this season. It was kind of a tough there at the beginning, and injuries had a lot to do with that, primarily in the defensive backfield. But with the addition of Sauce Gardner, Latu's been coming on recently, DeForest Buckner having the best year of his career. Now, of course, DeForest Buckner on IR. That is not what anybody wants to hear. But this Colts defense has been really incrementally getting a lot better. There's no question about that. And so we'll see if Mooney Ward does in fact play, but Cam Bynum, Zaire Franklin, they know just where this team is trending, where this defense is trending, and looking forward to a challenge against the Chiefs offense, who, again, lethal. Even with the 5-5 record, I mean, they're a really solid football team with, Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Travis Kelce out there. A lot of weapons. There's no question about it. So the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They'll always be the Chiefs, and this Colts defense ready for the challenge.
Lou having past success, I know it's season to season, things are different, of course, but past success that he has had at the highest level going up against Kansas City, how much can you guys draw upon that as a defense?
Yeah, just watching what they've done well in the past and watching things that the Chiefs have done well against that same scheme. We know that they're probably going to do the same exact stuff to us and try to attack the same spots that they found success in. And same with us. Anything that the coach has had success with, he'll probably try and do the same thing. But at the end of the day, teams change things up. We have different personnel, different players that are going against different guys with different skill sets. So it's going to be a brand new game. Looking at the past, yeah, it's cool. He's had success against them. But at the end of the day, we have to go play and win this game that we have this week.
Going against one of the best to ever do it, Patrick Mahomes, as a guy who's been around this league for some time. Give me your assessment on just going up against him, the challenges he brings when you face a guy like him.
Yeah, knowing that he's mobile and able to make really good throws no matter where he is in the pocket or out of the pocket, and knowing that he's had success just winning games. So you know that it's going to be a 60-minute battle. But at the end of the day, we've faced, a lot of us are veterans, so we've faced the best in the league year in and year out. So this is a fun challenge for us to be able to go in there, go against a guy like him that's done a lot in the league and have a lot of respect for him. And it's going to be exciting to be able to go against that.
Coach said Mooney is returning to practice today. How much are you looking forward to playing with both him and Sauce on two opposite sides?
Yeah,
and of course, Kenny as well.
Yeah, I'm excited just to get the whole band together and everybody getting healthy. That's the most important part as people, knowing that he's back to feeling like himself again and can go. So I'm excited to have him out there, and just to have my brother back out there with us is going to be fun, and being able to have, Sauce, Kenny, Nick, me, Mooney, and all the, everybody's been talking about it for a while, so we got to see what we can do.
So much talk about the Chiefs and how this is like a playoff game for them, but for you guys, 8-2, you win this, a chance to really try to take control of your division as well. What's your mindset as far as your perspective going to this matchup here against one of the top teams?
Just win the game this week. We don't look at anything further. We know everything's at stake with us being 8-2, other teams being 9-2. So technically, we're not in the first seed right now. But none of that stuff matters. It'll play out. Other teams will win. Other teams will lose. For us, we want to win every single game that's in front of us.
Just trying to, figure out, ways I can improve and plays I could just be a better player for this team. And I just feel like for us, and really just watching, just seeing the growth of our unit, being able to play together over the course of the season. Obviously, it was a new system. Some of the early mistakes we were making against Miami and Denver, just seeing how that, has manifested and how we've been able to clean those things up and continue to improve. So, obviously, some areas we want to be better at, but, I definitely think the progress has been promising.
Every year is, of course, a new year, but how much do you draw upon Lou's previous successes going up against Kansas City, and then the fact that you've also been part of a team that has 2 wins over Kansas City in the last handful of seasons?
Yeah, we've all, everybody in this building has had their fair share of battles against Kansas City, winning at Kansas City, winning, here at home, or even them in Cincinnati. So, but it's a new year. We all got to earn our reputation. We all got to earn, whatever we want every year, regardless of what we did in the past. So, looking forward to another opportunity on Sunday.
When you look at the potential to possibly, should he clear protocol, get Mooney back, another week with Sauce, I know Jalen Carlisle, of course, can return to practice. How much does that just amplify this defense with the opportunity that you have to get those guys back in the fold?
Oh, Mooney's a premier player. Getting him back, giving Sauce, a couple weeks to just kind of settle in, learn everybody, get his bearings together. He might have traveled the most miles in America the last few weeks, so just getting him a chance to sit down a little bit was cool. But obviously, getting Mooney back is going to be major, so and JC's getting back too. So looking forward to getting the boys back, getting back healthy after the bye, and getting a win in Kansas City.
So you've given an 8-2 start, but is there almost a feeling that the season is just kind of now getting started with the back end of this after the bye and kind of the real work gets going again?
Oh, no question. They say it's the season starts after Thanksgiving. We ain't even there yet. So it's cool, though, at this time of year, playing in a big game that means something. I feel like this season, it feels like every single game has been extremely important. I feel like this week is really no different. We're, approaching every game with the same mentality. Even when we know how much is on the line this week on Sunday.
I was impressed you about how the mentality of this team, though, the focus is maintained with you guys, the big game after big game, but you guys have stayed locked in.
No question. Like I said, credit goes to Shane. I'm so focused week to week that, I haven't been able to plan my family to come out to the games. I want to come to this game. I'm like, bro, I don't even know who we play. I'm just so focused on 1 week at a time. So it's been cool. Like I said, we, approaching them the same way we approach everybody else, regardless of what's on the line.
We know what Kansas City has been able to do for so many years, and now you're going up against the best. As a competitor, how fired up are you for this opportunity to go up against the Chiefs in Arrowhead Everybody's watching. Give me your take on that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they've been the class of the NFL and the AFC for the last few years. Their success is not by accident. Andy Reid, I've been watching him since I was a little kid. I know the type of team his team's going to be ready to play on Sunday. But like we said, I've won there, they've won there, so we'll see who the best team is on Sunday.
So Colts Chiefs 1 o'clock Arrowhead Stadium on Sunday. 13 Sports will be there. We'll bring you all the action in the biggest measuring stick game of the season for the Colts, I think. We talked about the Los Angeles Rams early in the season. I mean, they're sitting at 8-2 right now. We talked about the Los Angeles Chargers early in the season. Colts, beat the crap out of them, and really since then the Colts have just been taking care of business. And yeah, they had a bit of a slip up against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they beat a talented Falcons football team. I'm not saying it's a good Falcons football team. It's a talented one. Beat them overseas. That's never easy to do when you're traveling far away. But this is the measuring stick game. Even though the Chiefs are 5-5, we can say it ad nauseum, they are still the Kansas City Chiefs. And to get a win on the road, when the Chiefs need a win, they really need a win, would speak volumes about where this Colts team is at as we head down the stretch of this season. Just 7 regular season games left, and the Colts, a 1 seed bye is in the cards for this Colts team. Not sure we would have said that before the season, but you are who you are, and the Colts are looking pretty dang good right now at 8-2. So keep it locked on Channel 13, on WTHR Plus, on WTHR.com for all your Colts coverage ahead of this big game between the Colts and Chiefs this Sunday. See you then.